Hey, what's up, everybody? Rob Marzullo here, Ram Studio Comics. Another inking demonstration for you here with the Blackstone comic. And just wanted to show you a couple things. One of which is this shadow effect that I do now where I paint in with a kind of a marker grayscale effect, turn it to blue line, and then start inking over top. I find this to be really helpful for defining my shadows in inking over top. It saves time and it gives me a little bit more confidence with blocking in my shadows. So wanted to show you that. And also this curve tool, which is pretty freaking awesome. And you just kind of click, hold, go to the end, and then pull inward. It's hard to explain, but you'll get the feel of it. It's really intuitive. It's a really great curve tool. And that one that I just did the alien with, it works really well for like mechanical stuff, cars, pretty much anything. You don't want to overuse it like anything else, but so you don't weaken your freehand ability. But it's a really useful tool. So, and there you see I'm just kind of inking in the shadows that I talked about. I really like that effect that it provides by blocking in the shapes of shadows. So if you're like me and you kind of dilly dally and struggle with your shadows a bit, I would definitely give that a try. And then just start feathering in some line work, which one of my favorite things about Manga Studio is the ability to get really good cross hatching. Like there's certain softwares I've tried that I kind of struggle just a little bit getting the cross hatching nice and clean the way I like it. But man, I feel like in this program it just really kind of flows. And keep in mind, I'm using a Cintiq. I don't want to make it sound like I'm using one of the other tablets. I don't know that you couldn't get as good with the other tablets, but I do know that the Cintiq feels more like traditional drawing, so I'm able to get my cross hatching the way that I like it. So yeah, the other thing that I do here, I block in the character Blackstone, and then I start to paint back with white. So I tone the layer opacity down and paint back with white and get all my little highlights and edgings the way that I like. And yeah, it's a really good way to work with this character. I know that in the beginning I spent a lot of time inking this character, and now I can pretty much fly right through him. I even mess around here for a second, try some different things, but then I ultimately go back to what I usually do. But yeah, this program is phenomenal. I really enjoy it. It's I know if you watch this channel, you probably know that I bounce back and forth from Sketchbook Pro, Manga Studio, Photoshop. I use them all for specific things. But my entire book production, minus some sketching, is done predominantly in Manga Studio. So, and it's mainly because it just keeps that one unified document, which really makes it handy for pinballing around like I do and bouncing from page to page. If you notice, this is just one panel in the book, but I pull it off to the side and I sketched it, inked it, and honestly, I think the sketch here only took maybe 15 minutes. Profiles are easy, and then this was kind of an easy shot. And another quick thing to point out, that hand, even though this isn't really based around inking, but just another tip for you, that hand is just my hand that I made the pose with. I wanted to show that somebody's trying to punch him in the face and they end up hurting their hand, right? So, because he's Blackstone, why would you punch him in the face? But at any rate, he punches him, hand curls up, shock effect on the hand, like, my wrist, kind of thing. Well, all that hand pose is me taking a picture of my own hand, making that goofy pose with my phone, and then I set my phone to the side and I look at it, sketch it. So just to keep in mind, I know it's pretty self-explanatory. We have all these fancy gadgets lying around. Why wouldn't you do something like that? It's easy to pull reference and do something like that. But I find myself using my phone like this, collect all of reference. And hands are a perfect example because they're sitting right there. They're in front of you. They're your hands. So it's like, just put them in whatever pose, take some shots, have people pose, take some pictures. So anyway, I just figured I would address that to tell you that's a good way to get your hand reference. So yeah, then I kind of fumbled through making the word balloon here. Manga Studio has better tools for this, but I just kind of did it this way or whatever. But it still works, and it didn't take too long. And then I draw out my letters, and I use the curve tool a lot for this one. At first, I'm just kind of drawing it, and then I'm like struggling a little bit, get the A's the way I want, and I realized, why don't I just copy the first A and distort it, erase it, So that's what I do there. And then I remember the curve tool that I'm a big fan of, and I start using the curve tool to bend the rest of the letters. So I really recommend you get in there and play around with that tool, because it's pretty darn neat. Like, the only tool that I know that works really well like this is the path tool in Photoshop, but then it's not nearly as quick to use as this. And I'll be doing a video demonstration on that as well, because there's a ton of great applications for the path tool in Photoshop. All right, so that'll bring this one to a close. I just had a few more like finishing lines, and you can actually do those in Manga Studio really quickly as well. Motion lines and all those kind of effects. So at any rate, thanks very much for tuning in. I appreciate watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and always drop comments in the section below so I know what you'd like to see in the future. And we'll talk to you soon. Keep drawing, keep having fun.